Buried in the pages of American history is a story few people know. The story of a young black girl who, in an era of segregation and Jim Crow, became a millionaire before she turned 13. Her name was Sarah Rector, and her journey from poverty to wealth made headlines around the world. But her story is more than just about riches. It's about racism, exploitation, survival, and the power of a young girl who refused to be erased. This is the story of the youngest black millionaire in American history. Sarah Rector was born on March 3, 1902, in Taft, a small all-black town in what was then Indian Territory, before Oklahoma even became a state. Her parents, Rose and Joseph Rector, were descendants of freed Creek Nation slaves, known as freedmen. After the Civil War, treaties granted these freedmen parcels of land in what became Oklahoma. Sarah's family, like many black families in the area, was poor. Their farm life was hard, their land dry and difficult to cultivate. At the time, most of these land allotments were seen as useless. But Sarah's story was about to take an extraordinary turn. When Sarah was just a little girl, she was allotted 160 acres of land under the Dawes Allotment Act. Her parcel was rocky, considered infertile, so much so that her family even petitioned the government to sell it. The request was denied. So they held on to it, paying $30 a year in property taxes, struggling to keep it. Then, everything changed. In 1911, an oil company drilled a well on Sarah's land, and what they struck was a gusher. Almost overnight, Sarah's worthless plot became one of the most valuable oil-producing properties in the state. By the time she turned 12, Sarah Rector was earning over $300 a day, the equivalent of thousands in today's money. Her income soon skyrocketed into the tens of thousands per month, and so, a poor black farm girl became one of the richest children in America. Sarah's sudden wealth sent shockwaves across the nation. In 1913, newspapers from Kansas City to New York splashed her name across headlines, "Oil made Pickaninny a millionaire." The racist language reflected the times, but it also drew massive attention and danger. White guardians and opportunists began circling. Under Oklahoma law, Native American and black children who came into wealth were often placed under white guardianship, supposedly to protect their money. But in reality, many guardians exploited these children, spending their fortunes on themselves. Sarah became a target. Letters flooded in from strangers asking for money, offering marriage proposals, even though she was barely a teenager. But Sarah's family fought to keep control of her estate. Her father hired black lawyers and business managers who ensured her wealth stayed in her hands. As Sarah entered her teenage years, her fortune only grew. She owned shares in oil companies, and her monthly income was equivalent to millions today. She bought a mansion in Kansas City. She attended the prestigious Tuskegee Institute, founded by Booker T. Washington, and received an excellent education. By the time she reached adulthood, Sarah Rector was a symbol of black success during a time when America was still deeply segregated. But wealth didn't shield her from racism. She was still barred from certain hotels, restaurants, and public facilities simply because of her skin color. Yet Sarah used her resources to live fully, buying businesses, cars, and property, and helping to build her community. Sarah married twice and had 3 children. Though her early fame faded, she continued to manage her wealth and businesses. But the Great Depression took its toll. By the 1940s, Sarah was no longer as wealthy as she had been in her youth, but she still lived comfortably. She died in 1967 at age 65, leaving behind a legacy as a trailblazer who broke barriers simply by existing as a wealthy black woman in the Jim Crow era. Today, Sarah Rector's story is being rediscovered as a symbol of black resilience, success, and the complexity of America's racial history. Her life raises important questions. What happens when a society that denies opportunity is suddenly forced to confront a black child who has it all? And what does it mean to hold on to wealth and dignity in a world that tries to take it from you? Sarah Rector was not just a millionaire. She was a pioneer. She reminds us that history isn't just about kings and presidents. Sometimes it's about a little girl from Oklahoma whose name refused to be forgotten. If Sarah's story inspired you, don't let it stay hidden. Like this video, share it with someone who loves untold history, and subscribe for more powerful true stories. What do you think Sarah's life tells us about race, wealth, and opportunity in America? Let us know in the comments, because history isn't just about the past, it's about the conversations we keep alive today.